As a leader, you live and breathe safety, right? But have you ever felt like you've hit a wall? You've got the best gear, the procedures are tight, but you're just not seeing the improvements you used to. Well, today we're going to talk about a powerful framework called human and organizational performance. It's a whole new way of thinking, really, one that focuses on how your teams, your systems, and your culture can all work together to unlock that next level of performance. So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll dig into this idea of a safety plateau and why the old ways just aren't cutting it anymore. Then, we'll define what HOP actually is. After that, we'll walk through its 5 core principles, step by step. And we'll wrap it all up with some really practical ways you can start leading with these ideas, like today.
Okay, first things first. Let's talk about a problem I bet many of you are facing right now in your own areas. This idea of the current safety plateau. Now this graph, this tells a story. For years and years, we made these huge leaps forward in safety. We engineered better equipment, we wrote better procedures, and look, the incident rates dropped dramatically. But then, see how that curve just flattens out? We've kind of hit a point of diminishing returns. And that gap, the one labeled opportunity, that's our challenge now. That's where focusing on human and organizational performance becomes absolutely key to breaking through.
So what is this different approach? What is this thing that can help us grab that opportunity and get off that plateau for good? So what exactly is human and organizational performance, or HOP? And yeah, we pronounce it HOP. The best way to think about it is not as another program to roll out, but as an operating philosophy. It's not here to replace your safety systems, it's here to make them better by focusing on those messy, complex interactions between your people, their tools, and the processes they have to follow every single day. And really, it all boils down to this. The whole point of HOP is to design our work systems to make it super easy for people to do the right thing and really, really hard to do the wrong thing. It's a shift from trying to create perfect people, which, let's be honest, is impossible, to creating forgiving workplaces that accept the humans will be humans. Okay, so let's get into the real meat of this. Let's look at the 5 guiding principles that make up the core of the HOP philosophy. This is how you, as a leader, can start to put it into action. All right, principle number 1. And this one's the foundation for everything else. Learning and improving is absolutely essential. This means we start learning from everything, not just the big failures, but the small successes and near misses that happen in everyday work. As a manager, this means you start to see your frontline team not as the problem, but as your single greatest source of solutions. Your job becomes creating an environment where they feel safe enough to tell you what's really going on out there. Moving on to principle number 2. This is a big one. Context drives behavior. You see, people don't just act in a vacuum. Their environment shapes everything they do. And this, right here, gets to the very heart of your role as a HOP leader. You're not just managing people anymore. You're managing the system they work inside. So when something goes wrong, instead of asking what's wrong with this person, you start asking, what is it about our system that made this error likely? Your focus shifts from correcting people to improving your processes.
Principle number 3 is all about facing a fundamental truth about being human. People make mistakes. It doesn't matter who they are. Even your absolute best, most experienced person is going to make an error eventually. Since we know even our best people will slip up, the goal has to change. We have to stop trying to prevent every single error. That's just impossible. Instead, we focus on building resilient, error-tolerant systems. Systems that can actually absorb a mistake and fail safely without a catastrophic result. Next up, principle number 4. And this is all about your reaction when things go wrong. How you respond as a leader has a massive impact on your team's culture. Every single incident, big or small, is a test of your leadership. Your immediate response sends a powerful message about what you actually value. So, do you rush to find fault, or do you get curious? By just pausing, holding back judgment, and asking how instead of who, you build a culture of trust where people are actually willing to talk about and learn from their mistakes. This is what that mindset shift looks like in the real world. You're moving your focus away from the person and onto the process. So instead of who is responsible for this mess, we start asking what in our system allowed this to happen and how can we make it better so it doesn't happen to the next person. And that leads us perfectly into our 5th and final principle, which really ties everything together. Blame fixes absolutely nothing. Think about it. Blame is the enemy of learning. The second we point a finger, the real investigation stops. We found our bad apple, right? Case closed. But that's a trap.
because we completely miss the chance to find the weaknesses in our system that set that person up to fail. This isn't about avoiding accountability. True accountability is about fixing the system so the same mistake can't happen again. Blame just teaches people to hide problems, and that's the most dangerous thing of all.
Let's just be crystal clear on this. Blame might feel satisfying in the moment, but it's a complete dead end. It actively sabotages your organization's ability to learn and get better, which ultimately just makes you less safe over time.
So, you've got these 5 principles in your head. Now for the big question. How can you, as a supervisor or a manager, actually start putting this powerful philosophy into practice with your team?
What's great about HOP is that you don't have to boil the ocean. You can start small. You could just start introducing some of these concepts in your team meetings and see what happens. Or maybe you work to formally adopt these principles for your whole department. A really easy way in is to just integrate this way of thinking into stuff you already do, like incident investigations or pre-job safety talks. Make them more focused on learning.
Okay, let's wrap this up and make it real for you. I want you to leave with this one question in your mind. Just think about your team and the work they do day in and day out. What is one system, one process, one piece of equipment that you could improve to make success easier and failure harder? Because whatever your answer to that question is, well, that's your first step. That's where leading with HOP begins.